Hello everyone, Tinker Guy here. So what I thought I could do today is show you what I use when I want to listen to music. Um, so the main thing I use to listen to music is this amp that you see in front of you that has been shown in a few previous videos, and also I listen back on these DIY bookshelf speakers that I also showed in a previous video. You can check out those videos. So this hi-fi system is composed of mostly Technics components, tuner, CD player, a tape deck, and a stereographic equalizer that also acts as a spectrum analyzer, and also a few DIY components, of course the amp, and this RCA switcher that I made, which connects all these hi-fi components to this amp, which only has two RCA, rather two inputs on the back, and obviously there's a lot. So 1, 2, 3, and also it's got Bluetooth. So 4 devices. The tape deck is not connected to this switcher. The tape deck is connected to the spectrum analyzer, which has a tape monitor feature. So I guess 5 components, but only 4 are connected to here. Oh yeah, and also I have this turntable that I use to play my records. It's fairly basic turntable, but we'll get to that in a moment. So I've talked about this amp in previous videos, but basically in a nutshell, it's a 40 watt plus 40 watt RMS output power amp at 8 ohms. It's got a volume control, mute switch, input selector switch with the two inputs that are on the back, a headphone amplifier, and of course the lovely view meters. And connected to this amp I have these 2 speakers. Here's one, there's the other one. So these are also made by me. So these are DIY bookshelf speakers. They're in 8 ohm impedance. They have the impedance they have, it's 8 ohms. So we got a woofer, the big one over there, and the tweeter, which I really like this tweeter. They sound great. They work really well with this amp. Really no complaint. They're not like they don't have a super flat response on the higher frequencies, but it's mostly flat until the higher frequencies. But it does give a very good, enjoyable sound, which I do really like. And also, since we're keeping up the DIY type devices, this is a switcher, an RCA switcher that I made to switch between all these media, and to be connected to this amp, because the amp only has 2 RCA inputs on the back. So this is a 8 channel switch, and inside here's some boards I got from the internet, AliExpress, that are they have relays, and I modified them so that I can control them with an Arduino, and they switch. See, you can see how they work. Can press more than one button at the same time. They won't do anything. So I use this to be able to listen to all my music media, media players, CD player, tape deck, radio, Bluetooth, and also of course the record player. So this is the tape deck that I use. I bought this in a thrift store for about 40 euro, but I knew well before I was gonna buy it, before I even played and plug it in. I knew that I would need to do some repairs, because the problem with tape decks is that the belts in the mechanisms, they go bad, so they need replacement. I've been holding off the repair because some tape decks can be really tricky to repair. With the help of the service manual, I was able to at least replace all the belts from this mechanism and get it mostly working. It plays fine, rewinds mostly fine. Fast forward doesn't work. I need to fix that one day. So, but at least it plays and it records fine, so that's good. As you can see, it's a dual tape deck. This one, the fast forward works. The rewind doesn't work mostly. Plays fine. Just a little speed variations difference between these two. I think this one should be in spec. This one probably not, because this mechanism I have not replaced the belts. So let's turn it on. What I liked about this tape deck is that it's got a view meter and an LED display, which looks really cool. And also it's something I never seen before, a digital peak indicator in decibels, which I thought that was pretty cool. But also, one of the things that I enjoy on this tape deck is that it's got Dolby C, which if you go to really old tape decks or tape decks that are not as fully featured, Dolby, they usually have just Dolby noise reduction, which is usually the just B. So that's one of the things I liked about this tape deck. Also, it's got an auto space function, which activates when you're recording. So we got this in this deck in the record mode, and you're recording the music, and when you want to create a blank space between songs, you click this button, you push this button while it's recording, and it will record a section where it doesn't have, where it's muted, and the mechanism will stop until you press it again to record the next song. I find that very useful. Despite this mechanism does not have like that technology that skips forward between blank spaces on the tape to skip to the next song. This one does not have that. But I got another tape deck in the living room which has that, and when I record tapes from here, this helps to create a blank space between songs, which I then can use in a different tape deck, which could use those spaces to skip through music a lot quicker. Well, this is the CD player. I also got this secondhand, and it also needed repairs. There was 2 repairs I did. The first repair is that the drawer loading mechanism didn't work. It wouldn't open. So that was just a matter of replacing the belt and lubricating the mechanism, the gears. But one thing that really, most people would probably send this to the trash. The reading CDs, the laser would skip the tracks. The music would just skip a lot. So what I did is adjust the power of the laser a little bit. That took a little bit of some fiddling with it, but it got it working again. So now it plays music mostly. Well, the CDs you buy on stores, it works great because those are pressed, but sometimes it has difficulty reading burnt CDs when they're just a tiny bit dirty. So that's the. But at least it plays CDs, normal CDs you find in the stores fine. So what it doesn't have digital output, but I don't use it. But it would be cool to have. But you know, it does what the CD player does. It plays music, skips, goes back, forward. But it also has the function that it's misleading. Just looking at it, it's called random program. When I bought this, I thought maybe you could do shuffle, but that's not what they mean. The random program, what it means that when you put a CD in, you know, you got let's say the CD has 20 songs, 20 tracks. You can then select each track individually and press this memory button, and then you can have a program that you created. Let's say if I wanted to play track 20 first, and then track 11, and so forth, in a semi-random manner, because you know you're the one who's pressing the buttons so that the music play in that order. That's what they mean by random program. But you know, it works. I mean, I thought it would be more useful if it was shuffle, but it's fine. It works fine. It's also got the display mode. It's called time mode. It shows different things, different information, like how many minutes are left in the whole CD before it ends, or how many minutes are left before the song ends, or you know, how many minutes are the current time on the music you're listening to. So normal stuff. Before we get into the spectrum analyzer, I would like to talk about the tuner that I have, also Technics, because I was really lucky to find most of these components are Technics. Well, I guess only the stuff that I made is not Technics, of course. But I got this tuner, this radio, which works fine. It's got quartz lock, can do FM stereo. It says right here that 39 channels that I can presets that I can make. It's as medium wave, long wave, FM, of course. It's you know, it's a radio. It's got a display, digital display. Doesn't display the name of the radio stations, but I don't know, whatever. It plays radio. So yeah, so that's the radio. So this is the spectrum analyzer. I was really lucky to find this in the thrift store. This one did not need repairs, like, at all. So it was just pretty much just plug and play, and it works really good, really great. But I use it mostly to just use the spectrum analyzer. I don't use the equalizer part. I did test it to see if it works, but I mostly use it just the spectrum analyzer mode, because you can select different display types. Just, you know, EQ, so you know you got the EQ over here, levels. Also spectrum analyzer mode, you can just choose one channel, left channel, right channel, both channels. This time, right now it's in both channels, so left and right. And I use this spectrum analyzer to switch between the tape and the source, which means the source is the switcher, and then the tape, obviously the tape deck. Because this way I can record to the tape anything that's connected to the switch, to that switcher that I made. So I can record CD. Not that I've done that. I never recorded CDs to tape, but I did record Bluetooth, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. I do record Bluetooth music to tape. So this is what I use mostly, all the time, to listen to music through Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth receiver. It's made by Ugreen. I have really nothing bad to say about this. This receiver works as it should. No hiss, no hum, no distortion that I can pick up. I guess it works fine. I use it to connect to my phone, sometimes my tablet, and also to Alexa. Stop! Since I was talking about this thing, so I use this device to play music from my server, my Plex server, via Wi-Fi. But right now I connected through Bluetooth to that Bluetooth receiver that I showed before. But in the future I would try to add a physical wire, so I can connect directly to the system without relying on Bluetooth. So that's what I use this thing for. Well, not only, but in this occasion, this is what I use it for. So finally, this thing. Yeah, when I ordered this, well, technically, let's see. When I was buying for a turntable, I wanted several things. I wanted to be able to adjust the tracking force if I want. I wanted to be able to change heads if I wanted to. I wanted to adjust the anti-skate mechanism. I wanted a metal platter. This is basically a good starting point for a beginner when I started out collecting records, and I really didn't mind if it only had 2 speeds. I really don't care about 78 RPM records. I don't have any, so I'm not gonna care about those. The problem that I had with this turntable is that I ordered the model, which was the TEC BT280, or is it TEC TN 280 BT? Yeah, that's it. From a store here on an online platform of a store that is local here. And the guys sent me the wrong one. They sent me a different model. They sent me the 180 BT, which is very different from the one that I ordered, and also less expensive. The one I ordered was 30 to 40 euro difference in price. The difference between those two models main things. Can't adjust tracking force fixed. Can't adjust anti-skating mechanism. Can't change the head. Or can only change the stylus. The platter's plastic, it's not metal, and it's got 3 speeds, which I really didn't care about the third one. I only cared about the first few, 33 and 45s. So I thought, first I complained, of course. They didn't listen. They didn't came back to me with an answer saying, "Hey, sorry guy, sorry dude. We sent it. I'll give you a refund for the difference, and that would be. I would call it all right. It wouldn't be the turntable that I bought, but it would still be okay." But they never came back to me. They didn't even respond to my email. So what I ended up doing is just bad review, and not recommend that store. So I stopped buying things from that platform, and yeah, that's the story how I got this turntable. But it plays records, so at least it's not complete trash, I guess. But probably in the future I will upgrade. Eventually, maybe sell this one to someone else, or give this to someone else and buy a better one someday. But right now I'm not really focused on buying, because this was a lot of money for me at the time. So but at least it's got some interesting features, I guess. It's got Bluetooth, which allows me to connect to my Bluetooth headphones if I want, which I think it's a nice feature, but not one that I've used more than one time, I guess. But bottom line is, I guess, it plays records. The last component that I have is this tube amp, but it's not a hi-fi type thing. I don't think it's really a good amp. I just have it to look cool, to have even as a blue LED and everything. I really don't care about those. This one came with a blue LED illuminating both tubes, but I removed them because first of all, one of them didn't work, so that's great. But also I didn't like how they looked. But I do enjoy that filament glow on the tubes. So yeah. So that's the last component that I have to show.